Hey there, friends! Welcome to Springfield!
Stay tuned for more fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
That's right. This iconic animated sitcom that's been on our TV screens for over 3 decades. We all know the basics about the show, but how much do we really know? Well, today I'm going to be counting down 10 shocking facts you never knew about The Simpsons. Let's get started. Starting off this countdown at number 10, we have the original version of The Simpsons was not exactly like the one we know and love today. In fact, it was more of a satirical take on American life. It all began in 1987 when Simpsons creator Matt Groening pitched the idea of a new animated sitcom to Fox. His vision consisted of a working-class family living in an average American town. The Simpsons were meant to reflect real families with their everyday struggles and routines, much like Roseanne or All in the Family. But as time went on and the show began its development, the Simpsons took on a life of their own. Each member of the family became more eccentric, and Springfield transformed from a typical town into a caricature of Americana. This change in direction was a risk, but it paid off big time. As viewers fell in love with the quirky and dysfunctional Simpson clan, the show quickly became a pop culture phenomenon. In at no. 9, we have Matt Groening, the mastermind behind The Simpsons, had no intention of creating a long-running animated series. In fact, he only wanted to make a few short films about the Simpsons family. When Groening first pitched the idea for the show to Fox, he envisioned it as a series of shorts similar to the Tracy Ullman Show, but Fox executives were impressed by the characters and stories that Groening came up with and they wanted more. They asked him to develop the show into a half-hour primetime sitcom. Groening was hesitant at first, but he eventually agreed. He probably never thought that his little animated shorts would turn into a massive hit that would run for over 30 seasons. And no, 8. We have legendary comedian and actor Danny DeVito was almost cast as Homer Simpson. Imagine the iconic lines of dough and dough coming out of Danny DeVito's mouth. It would have been a very different experience. However, there was one major issue that ultimately led to him not being cast. While DeVito loved the character of Homer and wanted to do it, he couldn't let go of his commitment to another project, Taxi. At the time, DeVito was still starring in the final season of Taxi and he didn't want to jeopardize that gig. So he turned down the role of Homer, which ended up going to Don Castellaneta. Who do you think did a better job? Castellaneta! Or do you think Danny DeVito would have done a better job? Let me know in the comments below. Coming in a no! 7. We have Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart Simpson. Wasn't always the first choice for the role when casting for The Simpsons began. The producers were looking for a voice that could capture Bart's mischievous and energetic personality. They wanted someone who could deliver his iconic catchphrase, "Eat my shorts," with attitude. After auditioning several actors, they brought in Nancy Cartwright. Cartwright, best known for her voice work in animation, was initially considered too old for the part. However, she impressed the producers with her spot and delivery of Bart's dialogue. And despite some doubts due to her age, she was given the role. Her portrayal of Bart has become so iconic that it's hard to imagine anyone else voicing him. Coming in at no. 6. We have Hank Scorpio, the maniacal yet lovable villain from the Simpsons episode You Only Move Twice, was actually inspired by a real-life billionaire. In the episode, Hank Scorpio is portrayed as a wealthy businessman with a passion for evil. But there was a real-life billionaire that caught Matt Groening's attention and inspired him to create this memorable character. During an interview, Groening revealed that he based Hank Scorpio on Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen. Allen was known for his eccentric personality and his love of adventure. And Groening thought he would be a great addition to the show as a larger-than-life villain. The result was a character that was both hilarious and terrifying. In at no! 5. We have Harry Shearer, the voice behind iconic characters such as Principal Skinner and Mr. Burns. Almost didn't land his roles on The Simpsons due to a case of mistaken identity. In the early days of the show, Harry Shearer was doing a live performance in Chicago when he got a call from a friend who worked on The Simpsons. They asked him if he would be interested in doing some voice work on the show and sent him the sides to review. Shearer read through the material and was excited about the project. However, when it came time to record his lines, there was a mix. The producers were expecting another actor to come in and voice the characters. They were confused when Shearer showed up instead. Despite the initial mix-up, Shearer was able to win them over with his incredible voice talent. He was able to bring his own unique style to each character, making them truly unforgettable. Coming in at no! 4. We have The Simpsons once broke a major primetime television taboo by featuring an interracial kiss in 1991. The Simpsons aired an episode called The Black King that featured an interracial kiss between two main characters, Principal Skinner and Superintendent Chalmers. At the time, this was a bold move, as interracial relationships were still underrepresented on television. The kiss was part of a storyline that explored the complexities of race relations in America. The episode tackled important social issues, and it wasn't afraid to push boundaries. This willingness to tackle controversial topics head-on has been one of the reasons for the show's longevity and cultural impact. In at no! 3. We have the iconic opening sequence of The Simpsons has remained largely unchanged since the show premiered in 1989. The opening sequence features a montage of clips showcasing the daily life of the Simpsons family in their hometown of Springfield. It's a quick-paced and humorous introduction to the show that sets the tone for each episode. However, there was almost a very different opening for the series. In early concept art for the show, the opening sequence was set to be more elaborate, featuring animation that was more detailed and dynamic. But as production for the show got underway, it was decided that a more simple and straightforward opening would be best. This was partly due to time constraints and budget limitations. The result was the iconic opening that we know and love today. Coming in at no! 2. We have the voice of Apiuna Hasapi Mopishialan. A beloved character on The Simpsons has been the subject of controversy in recent years. In 2017, actor Hank Azaria revealed that he was stepping back from voicing the character due to concerns over the portrayal of Indian culture. APU has been criticized for perpetuating harmful stereotypes and contributing to a climate of intolerance towards South Asian communities. In response to this criticism, Azaria announced that he would no longer voice the character unless there was a specific reason to do so. This decision was met with mixed reactions. Some praised Azaria for being sensitive to the concerns of marginalized communities, while others criticized him for giving in to what they saw as political correctness. Ultimately, this decision reflected a larger conversation happening in society at the time about representation and inclusion in media. And coming in at our no one spot today, we have The Simpsons was almost canceled after its 12th season. The show had been on the air for over a decade and was starting to show signs of fatigue. Ratings were declining, and some critics were beginning to say that the show had jumped the shark. With the decline in popularity, Fox was considering canceling the series. However, the dedicated fan base of The Simpsons refused to let it end. Fans organized campaigns to save the show and even created a petition that garnered over 100,000 signatures. Their efforts paid off, and Fox decided to keep the show on the air. Since then, The Simpsons has managed to maintain a level of popularity that has ensured its longevity. The show's ability to adapt and evolve over the years has kept fans coming back for more. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you had fun today, learning these 10 shocking facts about The Simpsons. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and leave me a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, stay safe, stay awesome. Bye.